The bridge of the cruiser Velarix Dawn hummed with the calm rhythm of routine patrol. Commander Terra stood at the central console, her four silver eyes scanning layered holograms of deep space telemetry. This sector was quiet, forgotten. A buffer zone no sane species crossed willingly. It was here that legends lived. Not myths meant for children, but warnings shared in hushed military briefings and redacted archives. Warnings about humans. Clara did not believe in legends. She believed in data. Trajectories, mass readings, and verified kills. The human extinction campaign had ended cycles ago. Officially, humanity had been erased. Their cradle worlds burned. Their fleets shattered. That was the story every academy taught. Then the radar screamed. A contact bloomed into existence on the long-range scanner. No warp signature. No hyperspace ripple. It was simply there. Too large to be debris. Too structured to be natural. The mass reading alone made Clara's frills stiffen. She leaned closer, adjusting the scan filters manually. The object was moving without visible propulsion. Its hull geometry was wrong. Asymmetrical in a way no modern species would design. Armor plating layered upon armor plating, each slab thick enough to withstand planetary bombardment. The bridge grew silent. Crew members stared at the display, some instinctively stepping back. A junior sensor officer whispered the word before realizing she had spoken aloud. Human Clara froze, her hands locked around the console as cold crept through her circulatory fronds. That word was forbidden outside classified threat assessments. The humans were not just extinct enemies. They were the measure by which all overkill was defined. She accessed the ancient archive protocols, overriding security seals she had never expected to touch. The comparison algorithms ran, hull silhouette matched with terrifying precision. Energy emissions aligned with archived human reactor signatures. Weapon ports identified, dormant but unmistakable. The ship was real. Not a legend, not a ghost. Signal a human vessel was drifting silently into their patrol zone. Clara swallowed. Her speeches had a word for the moment before annihilation. It described the instant prey realizes the predator is no longer hunting. It is already upon them. She ordered a full stop in communications silence. No one questioned her. Across the bridge, fear spread like radiation, invisible but lethal. The human ship altered course. Just slightly. Enough to prove it was aware of them. And somewhere deep within the armored spine of that impossible vessel, something woke up. Emergency protocol. Lights bathed the bridge in crimson hues. Clara forced herself to breathe steadily as the cruiser drifted powerless. Engines offline, weapons cold, shields lowered. Anything more would be seen as a challenge. And no one challenged humans and lived. She opened the sealed war archive. Records suppressed even from most fleet commanders. The screen filled with footage and testimony recovered from the last human war. Human ships did not retreat. They did not negotiate. Once attacked, they escalated until nothing remained to escalate. One report described a single human dreadnought holding an entire star system hostage. Another detailed how humans responded to the destruction of a colony not with retaliation, but with extermination of the attacking species' entire stellar population. The term overkill appeared repeatedly, each time redefined, each time insufficient. Clara's frills trembled as she reached the final entry. Project Ash Remnant, the theory that humanity never centralized its survival, that they scattered, buried fleets in dead systems, automated sanctuaries beyond known space, waiting for someone to make the mistake of believing the war was truly over. A soft tone echoed through the bridge. The human ship had activated a tight beam transmission, encrypted, archaic, human. The translation AI hesitated, then complied. A voice emerged, distorted but unmistakably organic. Unknown vessel. This is Terran autonomous dreadnought Grave of Empires. Identify or remain irrelevant. The words carried no threat, no anger, just certainty. Clara felt the weight of that certainty press against her thoughts. She responded with the most respectful frequency her culture possessed. This is Commander Terra, of the Velarix Concord. We believed humanity extinct. Silence followed, long enough to feel intentional. Then the reply came. Extinct is a word used by those who stopped looking. Around her, officers stared at the floor, or at nothing at all. Some had gone rigid with shock. Others whispered prayers to deities that had never faced humans. Clara realized the truth with brutal clarity. The legends were not exaggerations. They were censored summaries. The human ship was not damaged, not lost. It was patrolling. And that meant something had gone wrong somewhere else. The human dreadnought. Closed distance without acceleration. Space itself seemed to bend in deference to its mass. Cliffsyra watched weapon signatures awaken one by one. Not aiming, just ready. She asked a question that had lodged in her thoughts like a blade. Why are you here? The answer arrived without delay. Because someone fired first, somewhere they were told not to. A data burst followed. Star maps, casualty projections, confirmed annihilations. A border world, recently colonized by a young species, eager to prove itself. They had discovered an automated human listening post, and destroyed it. The response had begun. The grave of empires was only the first signal flare. Others would follow, hidden fleets, dormant sentinels, weapons older than most civilizations. Human doctrine was clear. If extinction was attempted once, prevention required permanence. Clara felt a strange, terrible awe. The humans did not conquer for territory. They erased threats. For a time, she understood then why the legends never faded. Why even victorious empires still whispered the word human. The dreadnought transmitted one final message. This sector is under Terran quarantine. Leave, and remember. The Velarix cruiser slowly powered its engines. No one spoke. No one celebrated. Survival. As they retreated, Clara watched the human ship turn back into the dark. A silent guardian of a promise written in ashen stars. Days later, the Concord Council would demand answers. Clara would give them data, recordings, proof beyond denial. Some would panic, some would deny, a few would finally understand. Humanity had never sought worship, only distance. Across the galaxy, dormant systems would awaken, old fears would resurface, and young species would learn why ancient ones never celebrated the end of humanity. Because it was never an ending. Telera would often replay the moment she froze at the radar console. That instant of disbelief and instinct. Had she ordered weapons hot, had she followed protocol instead of fear? Her species would be a footnote in a human archive. Instead, the Velarix Concord lived. And the legend gained a new line. If you ever spot a human ship on radar, do not move. Do not threaten. Do not assume it is alone, because humans were never just a legend. They were the consequence of forgetting history.